Have any of you ever wondered how Albus Dumbledore seems to just know a lot more than he should have? I mean, yeah, the headmaster was highly intelligent, with a vast amount of unparalleled knowledge, in addition to being the most powerful wizard on the planet, but he always appeared to be one step ahead. The question is that nobody ever knew how, until a very interesting investigation into the Chocolate Frog card began, blowing the door wide open on how Dumbledore truly worked. Dumbledore seems to have an incredible level of foresight, but what if that foresight wasn't just a result of his intelligence? What if he had a covert network of intelligence gathering, hidden in plain sight, just on show to the public in multiple shops and stores? What if Albus Dumbledore used Chocolate Frog cards, yes, those crazy collectible wizarding trading cards, as a magical spy system to monitor the wizarding world? This is the part where I'd say it sounds crazy, but in actual fact, it's not. It's highly plausible and logical, so I think it's about time to unravel this entire theory by analysing evidence from the Harry Potter books, the films and even fan discussions. I'm going to explore the mechanics of the frog card. We're going to look at magical portraits, how they link together. We're going to dissect Dumbledore's personality and his strategies, and we're going to discuss the implications of such a surveillance system. So let's take a look. Okay guys, so Chocolate Frog cards are a beloved feature of the wizarding world, and they're found, obviously, in the famous Chocolate Frog, which is sold across the magical sector of Great Britain. Now each card features a famous witch or wizard, along with a short biography of their achievements. Now these cards are enchanted, showcasing moving images that can kind of interact with their surroundings, much like magical portraits, but maybe not as advanced. And while it is unknown when collectible cards started featuring famous witches and wizards, the best guess is November 1926, because that's when the Daily Prophet reported on the new packaging format for the products in its November issue that year, which could point towards the introduction of the cards. So one of the most prominent cards is, of course, that of Albus Dumbledore. Now it's no surprise given his achievements in defeating Dark Wizard Gellert Grindelwald, his work on the Philosopher's Stone and his status as Chief Warlock of the Wizengamot, we know it's going to be a popular card. In fact, it's one of the most prominent cards. How could these cards be more than just collectibles? How did Dumbledore orchestrate, possibly, the biggest infiltration of wizarding security and privacy without anyone ever knowing? Well, it's very plausibly suggested that Dumbledore used his Chocolate Frog cards as an extension of his surveillance system on the basis that these cards function similarly to magical portraits. Now, I just said moments ago that they weren't as advanced, but could I be wrong? They could potentially move between locations, observe events and relay information back to Dumbledore. There's an interesting line in the Philosopher's Stone where Harry receives a Dumbledore card in his Chocolate Frog and he questions where the picture went. Ron's reply is that Harry can't expect the headmaster to hang around all day, indicating that Dumbledore is able to magically access the cards and view the surroundings of the person holding the card. This wasn't in the book, but at least it adds to the theory. Since we're basing the fiction of the card off the magical portraits, let's take a look at how they work. Magical portraits are shown to have autonomy, moving between frames to communicate with one another. They can even be taught to communicate over time, with some portraits being worked on for up to 20 years, absorbing the knowledge of the person they represent. So if we take the way they function and apply that to the Chocolate Frog card, well, Dumbledore basically has created his own visual surveillance system, and that is basically down to the Chocolate Frog distribution network. They're sold everywhere amongst witches and wizards, meaning Dumbledore's likeliness could potentially be present in homes, shops, schools, and even international locations. Even adults enjoy chocolate, so who's to say one or two wouldn't end up in the Ministry? If enchanted in the manner of the portraits are, these cards could subtly observe and report events, allowing Dumbledore to maintain his reputation for basically knowing everything. So that brings me to asking another question. How much did Dumbledore know? Well, our first clue to the cards' actual importance, which in turn highlights that they could be providing crucial information, comes in the Order of the Phoenix. During the course of this book, Cornelius Fudge is fueling a smear campaign against the headmaster through his influence over the Daily Prophet, and Harry is also getting the blunt end of it too. So Dumbledore is then removed from his position as Supreme Mugwump, and also from the Wizengamot, but highlights to Harry all of that is okay once he doesn't lose his spot on the Chocolate Frog cards. Yes, this seems lighthearted, I know. Or could it be an acknowledgement of the card's hidden importance to him? He's basically just hinted to us how he knows everything that he knows, and he seems to know absolutely everything that was happening with the Order without being present for the majority of the meetings, indicating that he could have had certain members use the cards to inform him of the ongoings. He was well aware of the ongoings of Harry's mistreatment in Privet Drive, especially after his first year. Don't forget, Harry held onto that Chocolate Frog card he received on the train in his first year, displaying it in his room. He knew that the time of Harry's hearing was changed at the last minute to purposely exclude his presence, but was able to be there on time anyway. And these are just some of the examples of Dumbledore just appearing to be completely aware of every ongoing, and the Chocolate Frog cards, acting as mini portraits, could grant him access to that information. And maybe that's why Dumbledore's portrait was so damn impressive in itself. He'd spent years sending mini portraits of himself back and forth, reporting to him, learning to think like him, absorbing information like him. It makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously with this theory, there are some counter-arguments along with the ethical concern that hangs over this whole situation. This is a theory for a reason, as in it's totally theoretical. The logistics behind enchanting thousands of cards would be very complex even for Dumbledore, but it's not to say it's impossible. There is no concrete direct evidence pointing to Dumbledore using chocolate cards to create a surveillance system. It could just be the fact that he has a lot of trustworthy people in the right places. But that's the beauty of Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling always leaves clues, always leaves hints. She purposely doesn't expand on certain parts of her wizarding universe because she wants the fans to figure it out ourselves. It's why this theory came about. So guys, with that being said, that is the Chocolate Frog theory. Now, I didn't create this idea, but I definitely added a lot of my own additional take on the topic to this video directly. So if there's any more theories you want me to discuss, then give me your theory in the comment section down below. I'll catch you all for the very next video.